New Beginning Christian Center with Dr. Danny Ellis. Let's listen to a message already in progress.
Now, historically, or more recently, the church has used that verse to talk about possessions. Call those things, I want a Mercedes. I don't have it yet, but I'm calling those things that be not as though they were. That's not really what the text is talking about. It's really talking about your growth, where you are, right? You have to understand. Now, go with me here. You have to understand this. Don't feel bad when God puts vision inside of you that's bigger than where you are right now. What he's simply saying to you is I need for you to grow. I need for you to grow. I need for you to stretch. I need for you to grow. And so when it says, call those things that be not as though they were, he's talking about yourself. I'm not there yet, but I'm going to get there. Okay, let me help you understand. That's why he says, when I'm weak, say I'm what? Strong. When I'm poor, say I'm rich. And so the real wrestle that you have right now is that inside of you, you have something bigger that wants to be birthed through you, but your surroundings does not seem to be prepared for it. And you got to accept the fact that you're still growing. And that's difficult in the kingdom because we want everybody to think that we have arrived. But the truth in the matter is, it does not yet appear what I shall be. That's why you have to spend quality time with God, so he can continue to water you with the word. Your real growth is not external, but it's internal. Are you listening to me? There's some things that used to bother you that as you grow, they won't bother you. There's some folk that you used to want their acceptance, but as you grow, you'll find out that as God continues to make you grow, that even people that you started out with won't accept the fullness of what God is doing. Ministry in the church is a wonderful thing, but it's not the end of anything. Did you hear me? It's okay. It's okay to do things for God. But God really wants to do things for you. And in order for someone to really see the glory of God in you, you have to grow. And growing means you got to get beyond the opinions of others and what they think about you. And that's tough because we're relational people. We want to fit in. We want, others to accept us. We want to be on the usher ministry and everybody likes us. We want to be on the praise team in the choir and everybody likes us. But here's the thing. Your growth rate may not be the same as other people that you're attached to right now. And you got to be all right with that. You got to be all right. It doesn't mean that you don't work with folk. It doesn't mean that you're not part of a team. But let me tell you something. God has an assignment that he made for you before he ever formed you in the mother's womb. God says, I knew you. And so I want to say this to you this morning. If you find yourself not fitting in quite as well as everybody else, and it's not a hand in glove type thing, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It just means that you're growing. And one thing about a growth spurt, I ain't got time to deal with that, but one thing about a growth spurt, it comes all of a sudden. And you can find that something that worked for you last month may not make you feel comfortable this month. But it ain't because there's something wrong. It just means that you're growing. And people grow at a different rate. Y'all give God a hand of praise. I want you to understand. It's Father's Day, and you're going to have to cross over some things in order to get all that God has in store for you. So I want to just wrestle with this subject this morning. For those of you that are taking notes and are watching, but I want to deal with this subject out of that text: leading, stepping beyond the edge. stepping beyond the edge, leading beyond the edge, stepping beyond the edge, leading, stepping beyond the edge. Every one of us, either as individuals or as an organization, are going to have to face certain rivers in our lives in order to experience everything that God has for us. One of the things that I've learned in life is that nothing significant really happens as long as you're standing safely on the bank, the brink, or the edge of the river. Nothing exciting happens on the river edge, on the riverbank. No miracles take place. No messages are communicated. No memories are created, and no medication is distributed as long as you're standing safely on the edge of the river. The other thing that I've noticed is that many people spend their entire lives standing safely on the edge of the river and wonder why nothing spectacular, nothing amazing, and nothing miraculous ever happens. Can I tell you why? It is because all of the miracles, all of the memories, all of the messages are in the river. Somebody say in the river. Okay, y'all missed it. Okay, help me by just telling your neighbor it's time to get off the edge. A spirit of emptiness is because you haven't made a commitment to stay connected to your assigned leadership. Yes, you show up at the location where the leader is, but you really have not submitted to leadership. Now here's why. You can't submit to something or someone that you think that you're equal to or better than in spiritual maturity or spiritual integrity. Can I go ahead and talk this? I just helped two people behind you because you have enough sense to know that God's promotion only comes when you are at your assigned post. Okay, y'all missed that. Y'all missed that. I ain't got time to deal with that. I ain't got time to deal with it. But can I tell you something, Ray, to help you out this morning? Can I tell you something to help you? Right? To bless you real quick? When God got ready to call David, we love David. Can I talk to you? Well, we love David. When the Lord called David, watch this now, he sent Samuel, the leader, to anoint David, right? It is Father's Day, right? You know what David was doing? David was doing what his father told him to do. He was out there tending sheep, wasn't he not? He was out there tending sheep. Now I want you to roll with me. Watch this, Kevin. I want you to roll with me. When God got ready to anoint David, he was in the sheep pen, the sheep herd, right? Taking care of sheep, right? Samuel shows up to anoint him, brings him out of the sheep, right? Sheep pen. He was doing what his father told him to the church. I step out and declare whose side I'm on, because nothing happens until you step out. That's faith in action. The faith steps out into the frightening, trusting that God will show up, trusting that God will show out, and trusting that God will show off. And hear me well, my friends. In this next 3 months, God's going to lead each one of us to the edge. And at the edge, you're going to be uncertain. At the edge, you're going to be afraid. At the edge, you're going to be apprehensive. And because that's your river moment. And at that time, I want you to hear my voice that says, step, baby. You may not be R. Kelly, and you may not know nothing about it, but you got to step to it, baby. You got to step in it. But I need you to know that miracles happen. But give me the river. Shout river. Shout yeah. Can I go higher? If I die, then let me die in the river. If I fail, let me fail in the river. If I perish, let me perish in the river. Baby, I got to cross to the other side. neighbor and say, my next blessing is in the river.
What a powerful message. You want to hear more? Come visit us on our Sunday worship service at 8:30 a.m. Rocky Mountain High and the Black Box. I want to see your face in the place.